Greetings everyone and welcome to game 2 of the best of 3 between Cuch, our green Protoss player spawning in the top right base, and ParAdoX, our yellow Zerg spawning in the bottommost base on the map Metalopolis. I am Doctor, I will be casting this game for you, and I'm excited to get into this because mostly, well, I don't really remember what happens in this game. I mean, I've observed every single game in this tournament, well, observed or played in every single game in this tournament, but when I was, looking at this replay to cast, I don't remember what happens in this game, so I'm just as excited as you are to see what's going to go on. So Cuch is going to send his 9 probe out to scout this bottom base first, and then this left base, and then the top base. And that's against Zerg, that's a very good scouting order, because if you're in the top right base and you scout the bottom base first, then you're basically able to scout 2 bases at once, because if he does spawn in this topmost base, you can expect a scouting overlord to show up at some point. So even if you do choose wrongly in scouting this bottom base, by seeing that overlord, you're going to know exactly where he is and then change up your scouting path. So Cuch is going to try to delay this natural if ParAdoX chooses to do so, but it looks like he's going to throw down a pool instead. Nope, yes, there it goes. He's going to throw down a pool first. Early extractor. So we could see some speed link. Early 2 extractors. Wow. 2 extractors. So we're going to see some fairly aggressive teching, possibly. We could see early upgrades. I'm actually not so sure to how to interpret a double gas as Zerg. I'm not a Zerg player, I'm a Protoss player like this guy who's getting 2 gateways, so he might be trying to exploit this short ground rush distance, as his gateways are rallied right into his base, so we're probably going to see some early zealot pressure. There's the first zealot being chrono boosted out, so if ParAdoX is going to go for a tech build, he could be in a bit of trouble. Again, Cuch grabbing his gas after ParAdoX has both of his fully saturated. So we'll see what ParAdoX actually ends up doing with all this gas, because he's currently stockpiling over 300 at the moment, without layers going down, without anything. I'm not sure what you can even buy in Tier 1 with gas. Let's see, you can get upgrades, you can get roaches. Oh, banelings. Yeah, you could try banelings, I'm not so sure. Again, first zealot finally shows up, hoping to get some free kills. ParAdoX has to pull off the drones from the line. Queen finally spawns to poke out the zealot's eyes. As he's able to clean that up, the Zealot was able to get 3 kills by the time it goes down and delay mining a bit. ParAdoX now only has 1 miner on each extractor. He hasn't moved over any workers yet. But it's not like it matters. He has almost 500 gas, so it's not like he's in a dire need for getting gas at the moment. Core finishing, we should see warp tech. Yep, there it is. It's a fairly late warp tech, but again, he's doing a 2-gate pressure instead of a 4-gate build, in which warp tech would pretty much be done by now, but you wouldn't be able to attack the enemy base with the stuff that he has at the moment. ParAdoX has 2 spine crawlers out to try to defend his base. Very good idea. These 3 zealots try to move up. He's attacking the spine crawlers. 2 spine crawlers are attacking these zealots with a queen to help out. Will he get any transfuses? No, he doesn't have enough energy for transfuse. Will he lose the spine crawler? No. If this other zealot would attack it, then that spine crawler would go down. So ParAdoX doesn't lose anything in that attack, while Cuch lost 4 zealots. So Cuch might be a little bit behind, or at least farther behind than he would like to be. Supply count is 39 to 20. Cuch still delaying this natural expansion just a little bit. But ParAdoX doesn't have any units right now. Let's pull up the units tab. Yeah, he just has 3 overlords, a queen, and 18 drones. Well, Kutch doesn't have anything either. He has 23 probes and 2 stalkers, so Kutch is a little bit ahead in the probe count. A couple roaches spawn for ParAdoX. So with these guys, he could take this natural expansion anytime he wants to. So this probe isn't really doing anything helpful. He's just kind of sitting there to scout out when that expansion is going to go down. Warp Tech is just about to finish. He only has 2 gateways that he could transform, with another gateway on the way. Kutch throwing down a Nexus at the natural before ParAdoX throws down a hatchery at his natural, as well as a Stargate in the main. So we could see some Phoenix harass like we saw in that 30-minute plus macro game on Slag Pits that these players just played. And just keep in mind that these players are doing these one in a row, so pretty much without a break, these guys just played a 30-minute game and are just continuing that one game into this new map. So ParAdoX moving out with these 9 roaches, hopefully trying to do this damage. He could do some damage to this natural expansion. These stalkers are going to stand in the way, say no, nuh-uh. But I'm not so sure who's going to win this, because this is a fairly evenly matched battle against stalkers and roaches. Kutch choosing not to kite the roaches, which isn't a bad idea. Well, kiting is really difficult, especially with the 4 range on the roaches and the relatively fast roach movement speed. So I don't know who's gonna win. It looks like Kutch is gonna be able to warp in some new guys to clean this up at some point, but I think both sides aren't gonna have the units that they need in order for any attacks to take place anytime soon. This is a really evenly matched game, because at 10 minutes, let's see what the units are. 1 Stalker, 2 Zealots from Kutch, 6 Roaches from ParAdoX at 10 minutes. So, and just remember, both these players have been losing a significant amount of their army with attacks and such. So that just shows you how evenly matched these 2 players are. So ParAdoX throwing down his natural and electing to take this 3rd over in the bottom right base, which is an interesting decision, because you could basically take this this base in the bottom right versus the gold with about the same risk. Because if you think about it, this 3rd base has a ramp that goes directly into Kutch's natural, but at the same time there's a ramp that's really close by that goes into this gold base. So ParAdoX could have been able to take that gold, but he would have been spotted by this Selnaga tower and that stalker in doing so. But right now, I don't think Kutch does see. No, he does not see that 3rd base in the bottom right just yet. Layer Tech finally going down from ParAdoX. We could see some Hydralisks from before. And is there a Void Ray out? Yes, there is a Void Ray out, so it looks like ParAdoX isn't going to be able to attack anytime soon without any Hydralisk support, because that Void Ray is just going to be able to clean up anything that Zerg sends in Tier 1, just because it just can't shoot upward. So looks like these stalkers are going to scout out this base. It's going to see this 3rd going down. He's going to elect to send the rest of his army up. Will ParAdoX respond? Yes, he's going to send his roaches, but I don't think it's going to be to any avail because of that Void Ray and just this massive stalkers and zealots that he has. So will this base go down? Yes, it looks like it's going to go down. And that's a huge loss for ParAdoX, because it just spawned when that attack happened, and you basically just lost 300 minerals for nothing. So that's going to hit him pretty hard, Kutch gonna throw down this base at the gold, but I don't think that's gonna do anything because this attack is probably just gonna clean up this natural expansion. And I don't think ParAdoX is gonna have the units to reinforce this. And in a way, I can see it all going back to grabbing that early gas really quickly, because he's over 1,000 gas right now. And if he had more minerals to spend on units, I think he could have a lot more stuff to defend this. So I don't think that ParAdoX is going to be able to hold this. The force is just too strong, and he's going to be able to take out this natural without too much trouble. And I think without any workers, ParAdoX finally declares GG as Kutch takes Game 2 in this best of 3. Unfortunately, ParAdoX is going to be knocked out of this tournament. We've seen some really great play from both of these players, as I look forward to seeing Kutch play in the future games of this tournament.